So you find a comfortable seat, find once we are ready, and your backs are upright, rest of the body relaxed. So today's theme is on karma. So we are going to meditate on karma, but how to contemplate on karma in meditation. We are not going to speculate. In the past, I've done this or that. Then you start to imagine and come out of drama shows. So we are not going to do that. We're going to use here and now evidence. So whatever sensation you observe, it can be painful sensations, pleasant sensations, whatever kind of sensations. These are actually karma's ripening. So all you need to do in the mind, you just label karma's ripening. So we synchronize with the sensations. It can be any part of the body. You don't have to focus on any specific spot. Whichever sensation that is most distinct, that appears by itself, then we just label in the mind, karma's ripening. So the evidence and these feelings, we call this mindfulness of feelings. And the thoughts that we have, we call this right thoughts. We say karma's ripening. And make sure we synchronize. Any sensation appear, we need to label karma's ripening. And once we finish the sentence, then we need to keep repeating. So the repetition is called right effort. Once you pause for too long, and the mind will start to drift off somewhere. So if a pleasant sensation appear, probably that's kind of good karma's ripening. There is a cause, but we don't need to know the reason, don't need to know the cause, don't need to know the story behind it. Just label karma's ripening. If it's a painful feeling, that's probably bad karma's ripening. Same thing, we don't need to dig into the history. We just label karma's ripening. And if the mind is more accepting of karma, and you will feel this very stable, peaceful, or even alert kind of experience. So it is a type of equanimity. And regardless of what you experience, we treat all of them as a distraction. No matter how pleasant, how nice, how calm, they are just bonus. Emphasis is on turning the Dhamma wheel. Keep on labeling karma's ripening. And next we are going to learn how to let go of these karmas. So when good karmas ripen, normally we feel happy. Bad karmas ripen, we feel sad. So it's kind of a mood swing problem, up and down. So in order to detach, we are going to now change the labeling to rising and passing, or any word or phrase associated with impermanence. You can use birth and death, change, anicca. Just pick your favorite and keep repeating. So any sensation appear, any feeling appear, rising and passing. And the same thing, regardless of what you experience, just keep on labeling impermanence. Treat everything else as a distraction. And see how far can you detach and let go of these karmas. Okay, and before we conclude this session, whatever we do, standing, sitting, walking, or lying down, always be mindful of impermanence. And with that, we can gently open our eyes, formally end the session, informally still can generate right thought. Okay, very good morning to everyone once again, especially those who just woke up. So let me let people settle down. Okay, so today's topic, common misconceptions about Kamma. So this word here, who have not seen this word before, Kamma? Okay, so there's a few people. But have you heard the word karma before? Karma have, Okay, so karma is the Romanized Sanskrit version. So the one we spelled here, Kamma, is the Romanized Pali version. So in the Theravada tradition, we use the Pali language. In the Mahayana tradition, they use the Sanskrit language. It's the same meaning, but different pronunciation and spelling. So make sure you spell with double M. You spell with one M is a total different thing. Okay, so common misconception about karma. I don't know who sent the topic. Somebody gave me this suggestion, so I tried to look for misconceptions, and I got this. Thanks to Taylor Swift, whatever I search is all Taylor Swift music lyrics, song lyrics. So actually, today's topic, actually, you all should ask more questions. You all should ask more questions. But before you all ask questions, I kind of set the tone, give a bit of this pretext on what is karma. So probably in my past few talks, I've mentioned karma before. Who is like first time seeing me on? Okay, so never mind. So basically, karma is like the concept we reap what we sow. And we reap what we sow. So I think most people here would know that if a person, or you come across people, let's say they have short life. Anybody know what's the karmic cause for short life? Killing. Yeah, so this is like the general kind of understanding. So if a person wants to have a long life, how? Save lives or don't kill. If you want to look beautiful, how? Put makeup. Yeah. So the karmic cause for beauty is not to get angry. So you all know the secret. Save you all these cosmetic products. Okay. Not to get angry. Right? No matter how much stuff you put in your face, if you pull a long face, it's still a long face. Right? So that's the karmic secret. Then how about wealth? People's favorite. Generosity. Right? Practice generosity, then you get wealthy. How about respect and influence? How to get respect and influence? What's the karmic cause? Be respectful. Okay, very simple. How about intelligence? You want to be smart. For those who are Ajahn Brahm's disciple, you all will know. Huh? Ask question, that's right. So later on, Q&A segment is your time to plant the karmic seeds to get smart. Huh? Okay, so having known all this, some people you ask, I practice generosity already, how come I still never get rich? Or some people got illness. Okay, I never cure, how come I still ill? So we have this problem. We have this thing called the 4 unconjecturables. So there are 4 things that the Buddha asks us not to try to find out the details. If you try to find out the details, the specific workings, you might go crazy. You might go crazy. Okay, so the first one, the Buddha range of the Buddhas. Try to understand the Buddha's mind, you know. You try to understand what is his enlightenment, what is his ability and all this. You can theorize the whole day, but you won't get anywhere close. Second, the jhana range of a person in jhana. So even in concentrated states, there's a different spectrum. A person can enter in a shallow manner, can enter in a deep manner. So there is like limitless range in a way. A person can sit for 1-2 hours, and a person sit a few minutes. There's some difference lah. Okay, then number 3, precise working out of the results of Kamma. So this is the one, precise workings of karma. You want to know how to have the exact, maybe, I don't know, $1 million in your account, exactly that digit, what kind of donation you must make. No one knows. Or if you want to have, I don't know, 1 million likes in your social media, what must you do? What's the specific thing you must do? So no, there's no specific kind of formula for it. Then the next one, conjecture about the origins of the world. Origins of the world. So somehow, maybe the modern physics explanation is still considered a conjecture, so we don't go to that yet. Okay, so these are the 4 things. But then people will start to think, if don't conjecture about karma, then don't talk about karma, don't teach, since there's no way to know, right? Karma works in mysterious ways. So we have no idea how it works, then just believe, lor. Just believe you'll do, lor. So if you just believe you'll do, then it's like, we call this mundane right view. Mundane right view. And then karma also has a supramundane right view. Supramundane right view. So I'll talk about that later. So anyway, if a person don't believe in karma, do you think it's still possible for them to reach liberation? Who says yes one? Who says possible? Okay, 1 person. Okay, a few person. How about the rest? Who says must believe in karma? Okay, strong believers. Okay. So there's this interesting story. Have you all heard before Kalama Sutta? Kalama Sutta. So it's basically a town of people who are very confused. Different religious leaders come there and preach their sermon, and they say, their sermon is correct. Their teachings are correct. The rest of the religious beliefs are wrong. Then religious teacher B come and say, religious teacher A, whatever he said was wrong, then he's right. So the townsfolk there were very confused. Very confused. So one day the Buddha happened to pass by, and they wanted to know what's the Buddha's opinion. What's the Buddha's opinion on this subject? And Buddha laid some ground rules. To be fair. So the Buddha said, don't simply believe what the tradition says. Whatever reports, whatever rumors, yeah, whatever you conjecture, whatever religious doctrine, whatever the religious teacher even, whatever the religious teachers say, even the Buddha himself. But then you use a bit of common sense. So the first one is, whatever you do, is it beneficial for yourself and others? If it's beneficial for yourself and others, that's one thing. Then second, fulfill the checklist. Is it praised by the wise people in that era? The wisdom of the different generation. Is it praised by the wise? So that's number two. If it fulfills this criteria, then you go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Then the Buddha taught them these 4 sublime states, loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, equanimity, which kind of fulfills all the criteria. And at the end, the Buddha talks about this belief. If there is karma, if there is such thing as karma, if let's say you believe in karma, then good for you. Because you do something good, then you reap good results. But if there's no such thing as karma, you won't reap what you sow. Then never mind, doesn't matter. You still do good things anyway. So that's the number 2 option. Number 3 option. If there is a thing as rebirth, then good for you lah. You do good things, then you have good rebirth lah. Good for you lah. If there is no such thing as rebirth, also never mind. You do good, you're at peace anyway. So it's a win-win situation. It's a win-win situation to do good. So the essence, the Buddha is not really interested in the metaphysical kind of doctrines. He's more interested in the wholesomeness, to develop this wholesomeness of the character or the mind. That is more important. So I'm going to talk about the mundane dharmas, mundane karmas a bit, and hopefully it will make you more confused. Okay, so the first one. Karmas may ripen immediately. It may happen this lifetime. But not all karmas ripen this lifetime. So some people think karma is like investment. So you want to get rich, okay, quickly do a lot of charity. You get rich immediately. It may not appear in a form of physical wealth, but it depends a lot on the intention also. If the intention is positive, you get emotional wealth. You become more selfless. You become rich inside. So we talk about the different kinds of wealth here. Okay, so some karmas happen this lifetime. For example, if you get angry, certain things will happen. Bodily reaction, your immune system compromise, and you get upset and so on. So this is immediate if you choose to create unwholesome emotions. So that's the immediately ripen karma. So same thing, if you choose to generate positive thoughts, then you get better, emotionally wholesome kind of emotions. So that's the first one, immediately ripening karmas. And the second one, subsequently effective karma. So some karmas don't happen this lifetime. Then you believe, okay, maybe next life, invest for next lifetime. If it doesn't happen now, for example, some people want to go to heaven next lifetime. So they do a lot of good things. Hopefully they can be reborn in heaven. Investment for the future. How do you know it will work? So it's a belief, so you must believe. So in Buddhism, we call this mundane right view. It's good to have to keep people doing the right things. So this is the mundane right view. Okay, then there's the third one. Indefinitely effective karma. Wow, this one is forever one. Forever. It's like dividends, you know. The karmic dividends. Keep on having ripening all the time. So one example of this indefinitely effective karma, the story in Buddhism, like the relationship between Buddha and Devadatta. So the Devadatta treat Buddha as enemy because according to the Jataka tales, some past life stories, this Devadatta was once a competing businessman with the Buddha. And the Buddha made a deal, the Bodhisattva made a deal, but this Devadatta didn't get the deal, so he was so angry. Then he made a vow, from this day onwards, you will be my enemy. So all the lifetimes, for few hundred lifetimes, have been rivals. So that's the indefinitely effective karma. Or some other relationship, for example, the Buddha's wife, this Princess Yasodhara. You can find it in the Theravada, the verses of the elder nuns. So she also proclaimed she got enlightened, and she also mentioned many hundred of lives she was the wife of the Buddha. So this is indefinitely kind of effective karma. Okay, then the last one. Wow, got defunct karma. Doesn't work at all. These are not like accounting. You can escape karma. So if a person is enlightened, then if you pass away and in an enlightened state, all the karmas you have before won't ripen. Because you no more rebirth. So karma won't work anymore. So we call this defunct karma. So these are the 4 types of karma in terms of like taking effect, different speeds. So we won't know when it will appear. Is it this lifetime or next lifetime or indefinite, you know? So very hard to calculate. You cannot calculate. You calculate really can 𝐾𝐽. Only the Buddha can know. Only the Buddha can know. And maybe some stories, the Buddha know that, okay, this certain poor lady, if she make dana, make offering to the Buddha, can become a queen, you know. Then the Buddha purposely appear in front of her and let her make offering. Then she became a queen immediately. Or some king happened to pass by and, okay, want her to become the queen. So this kind of thing very hard to predict, except unless you are a Buddha. If not, don't try to calculate. So we just know, in general, we reap what we sow, unless you're enlightened. If not, that we call this the mundane understanding of karma. Then this one. Next lifetime one, we call this rebirth. If you do a lot of bad things, then you go to the bad realms law. So we have this thing, the hell realm, the hungry ghosts, the animal realm, and sometimes they want to include the Ashura realm. Who have seen these 31 planes of existence before? Or who never seen or heard before the 31 planes of existence? Okay, a few people. So Buddhist cosmology, Buddhism, very positive one. Human realm is number 5. Let me see whether I can find the pointer. Can you see the red dot? Okay. So the first level here, there are 4 realms. So these are the lower realms, from hell, the hungry ghosts, and so on, animal realm. And the demons, Ashura realm. And this realm is the human realm. Human realm. Then anything above the human realm, this realm onwards, or heavenly realm. So there's a lot of heaven. So much heaven. Okay, but anyway, if a person do immoral things, body, speech, and mind, you do something immoral, more than the good, Then the high probability is the lower realm. And if a person do moral actions, do charity, observe your precepts, then we call this sensual blissful realm. That means human and above, all the pink color realm. So there are certain heavenly realms, they call it sensual realm. They still have gender, they still enjoy music, entertainment, and enjoy the sense pleasures. So these are the heavenly realms. And then there are certain actions, the form and formless realm. You look at the blue column and the orange column. We call these the Brahma worlds. So that realm, no gender, no entertainment. They just enjoy themselves there. So these are people who usually are meditators. If let's say they like to enter concentration, they might enter into that realm. So these are the different realms of existence. So a lot. So I don't want to go through them, if not 2 hours. Okay. So for enlightenment, it will be outside of all these realms, beyond this birth and death. Okay, then also need to know there's this thing called weighty karma. Weighty karma. So in the ones in red, 5 things not to do. If you do, confirm is like go to hell one. Okay, so the first one, creating schism in the Sangha. So if a person were to try to break up the unity of the Sangha, so that's one cause for going to the hell realm. So for a lay person, very safe. You all won't get to commit this. Only Sangha can create schism in the Sangha. So how does schism work? You need to have a community of at least 8 monks. At least 8 monks, they come together, then they trash out certain issues, and they agree to go their separate ways. They don't agree on certain things, they go separate, and minimum 4 on each camp. Then it's considered schism. If 5 and 3, not counted. 6 and 2, not counted. Yeah, you need 4. So we call this technically a schism. So in the Buddha's time, there was a schism by this Venerable Devadatta. So at that time, there were 1,000 monks. 1,000 monks. So this Devadatta want to overthrow the Buddha. So he made some proposition, the Buddha don't agree, then this Devadatta came out and told the rest of the 1,000 monks, the Buddha became soft already. This Devadatta want to implement certain ascetic rules. Okay, I'm still tough, let's follow me. Don't follow the Buddha anymore. So because of this, 1,000 monks, 500 followed Devadatta, 500 remained behind with the Buddha. So that was the first schism in Buddhism. And interestingly, a lot of Buddhist academics, Buddhist scholars, usually lay persons, they do not know the monastic rules. And they will tell you, like maybe the Second Buddhist Council, and onwards, there's schism, the monks split into many, many schools. Actually, no. Technically, the monks need to meet together and then agree to split. So there might be no schism in the monastic context. There might be no schism. For example, when Buddhism spread, like King Ashoka's missionary spread to Thailand and to Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan Buddhism now very different from Thai Buddhism. Correct? Because culturally things are different, people practice the language, culture different. But we don't call that schism because there's no coming together and no argument over certain practices. Right? So sometimes you might be wondering, how come the monks don't want to stay together? Because they want to prevent argument. They don't want to go to hell. I think throughout history after the Devadatta incident, no monk want to go to hell. Yeah, so I think it's wise to say nobody want to create a schism. Okay, then second cause, wounding a Buddha. Wounding a Buddha. So this one also very safe. We know the Buddha not around already. But that doesn't mean you can wound other people. Please don't do that. Then the third one, murdering an arahant. So also same thing. If you observe your precepts, well, you don't go and kill a human or don't go and kill other living creatures, then should be very safe. So won't need to worry about this one. Then the next two, killing of mother and father. So this one, also same thing, try not to kill any being. So these are the 5 heinous crimes. Once you commit, it's like confirm, go to this hell. Okay, then, of course, Buddhism is not just about negativity. You need to have positive thing also. So you have positive heavy karma. Positive heavy karma. So if a person practice meditation, enter concentrative states, form and formless concentrations, or even sainthood. So sainthood is also considered a karma. So we'll talk about that later. We call this supramundane karmas. Supramundane karmas. How to detach, how to let go, how to go beyond samsara. So that is also a kind of karma. Okay, then the next one, if a person, let's say they never commit any weighty karma, good or bad, then what's the next deciding factor? We call this proximate karma. Proximate death karma. That means at the moment of death, what's your last intention? What's your last thought? So that will push you to your next rebirth. So actually, death-bed conversion might work, if done correctly. If a person really at the last moment start to repent all the wrong things, start to think positive, can go into a good place. So you can find this in this greater discourse of karma. And the Buddha was talking about 4 different situations, 4 different scenarios. One is a good person, generally good person, at the moment of death, reborn in a good realm, in heaven or something. So that's the first case study. Second case study, generally good person, but after pass away, go to hell. Go to hell. So one example is this Queen Maliki. Queen Maliki. So she's a faithful devotee of the Buddha, always do offering to the Buddha, do offering to the Buddha. But the husband, King Pasenadi, is like half-hearted kind of devotee, not sure, still not a faithful kind of follower. So one day, the queen passed away. The queen passed away. So the king wanted to know from the Buddha, do you know where my wife get reborn? Since she's a strong follower of you. Then the Buddha have the ability to check which realm did this Queen Maliki go to. Then the Buddha check, go to hell. Go to hell. Because the last thought moment, she thought of something unwholesome. She thought of something unwholesome. So all the good karma doesn't mean no use. But the Buddha know that the hell realm is just temporary. Temporary. After a while, once she uses up the karma, she'll be reborn into heaven. So the hell stay is very short only. Very short. Okay, so the Buddha didn't want to answer. He kept quiet. Because if the Buddha immediately answered, your wife born in hell, immediately the husband will lose faith. Definitely won't want to do any more dana in future. Won't want to practice generosity in future. So the Buddha kept silent. So after a few days passed, then the Buddha saw that, okay, this Queen Maliki reborn in heaven. And when the king came and asked the Buddha again, can you give me an answer? Which realm did my wife was reborn? Then the Buddha said, now your wife is in heaven. So the Buddha practiced the right speech. Although we talk about speaking the truth, I must speak at the right time. Speak at the right time. So this is one case study. Okay, then there's a second example of approximate death karma. Then the third case study, a bad person, generally unwholesome person, commit lots of, break a lot of these precepts, like to kill, like to steal, like to tell lies or abusive speech and so on, then go to reborn in the unwholesome realm, the hell or the ghost or whatever. So there's a third case study. And the fourth case study, unwholesome person, but reborn in heaven. Generally live an unwholesome life, but then can be reborn in heaven. Because at the death moment, start to change the thoughts, start to think of something positive, turn over a new leaf. So these are the four case studies. But that doesn't mean once they go to heaven, all the bad karmas will be resolved. It's still there. The bad karma is still there, unless they reach enlightenment, which is the case of Angulimala, this Venerable Angulimala. So there's a case study of defunct karma. So he's supposed to be an arahant, or before he became a monk, he killed a lot of people. He killed 999 people. He was a serial killer. But somehow the Buddha saw that he still has some potential, still possible to liberate, and managed to ordain him. And even though he was ordained, he's still being despised by all the living relatives of the victims. So he's always being abused and beaten up. And eventually he passed away. But before he passed away, he got enlightened. So that's one example of this defunct karma. Okay. Then the next one, if let's say there's no death proximate karma, then the next one is habitual karma. If let's say you assume, we assume now this hospice care is very good, the last moment, the service are very good, then it all depends on your habitual karma, what you do mainly throughout your whole life. So this will determine your next rebirth. Okay, then the last one, if a person don't have all these, then again, karma works in mysterious ways. Unspecified karma. Certain things just ripen, we don't know, then you'll be disappeared. Okay, so I've covered this thing called mundane right view, and now we're going to talk about this supramundane right view, the kind of reflections that will help you practice detachment, the kind of karma that will lead you deeper into the spiritual path. Okay, so these are the 5 reflections. I'm subject to aging, I'm subject to illness, not part of the 40 meditation objects, but it's in the sutta. Subject to death, I will grow different, separate from all that is dear and appealing to me. And the last one, karma. I'm subject to karma. So karma is a meditation. Like just now what we did, we are subject to karma. All beings are subject to karma. But how to meditate correctly? If we were to just think, karma is the mundane way. You must do certain good deeds in the past, must prepare this, must prepare that, prepare the food, prepare the your whatever. Then it becomes storytelling, story making. The mind like to create all of these shows. So in meditation, we call this restlessness. Restlessness. The mind going to the restless state, like to imagine a lot of things, doesn't help you achieve peace of mind. Doesn't help you achieve peace of mind. But in your real life, real-time work, you need to worry. Please worry, please get things done. If you don't plan, don't do anything, nothing gets done, you can sit here forever. You don't need to leave the room anymore. So please worry at the right time. Worry at the right time. Okay. So again, encouraged to be done by lay person. Lay person also. Lay or ordained. Okay, so how does this reflection work in terms of the Four Noble Truths? There's this thing called old karma, new karma, cessation of karma, path leading cessation of karma. Who has not heard before Four Noble Truths one? All heard before. Okay, so first noble truth is suffering, right? So all karmas, the karmas ripening is actually suffering. Like just now when you sit and meditate, here pain la, there pain la, here aching la, all these are all karmas ripening. So that is suffering. And the cause of suffering is if you fight with the pain. If you fight with the pain, I want to get rid of this pain la, so painful, I want to, it creates emotional distress. Creates emotional distress. That means you're creating unnecessary suffering, your desire and expectation. So that's the second noble truth. Then the third noble truth, you can end this suffering, you can end or this cessation of karma. And the fourth noble truth is the Noble Eightfold Path. So again, this is from the Sutta. All karmas, whatever you experience, you see, hear, smell, think, taste, and touch. This is actually all karmas ripening. All karmas ripening. And new karmas ripening is actually whatever you create with your body, speech, and mind. So that is actually new karmas ripening. So that's the second of the noble truth. And the third noble truth, karma can be ceased. You can overcome karma. You can transcend karma. And the fourth noble truth is actually practicing this Noble Eightfold Path, which transcends this karma. So Noble Eightfold Path, who haven't heard before? Or heard before? Okay, so that's the end of my sharing. So I'm going to open the floor to Q&A. Hopefully cleared some misconceptions, but if, let's say, I create more misconceptions, that's the best time to ask and for people to create intelligent karma.
Right. Thank you, Phra Goh. So questions on the ground? Now it's really an opportunity to plant a seed, to ask questions so that you'll be intelligent maybe on your next life and all.
Hello, morning, Bante. Thank you for the talk. I just want to ask, what's your take on karma and feng shui?
Karma and feng shui. I have no knowledge of feng shui. I have no knowledge of feng shui. So so even though feng shui is not taught in Buddhism, not taught in Buddhist scripture, but it is mentioned as one of the arts, which by right monastics try not to get involved in their livelihood. So something like feng shui is like kind of mentioned in the scriptures, but not in detail the concepts of feng shui and stuff like that. So probably feng shui in Chinese culture may be different with feng shui in Indian culture. I don't know. Just like the zodiac sign, the Pisces line, the Cancer, and if you go to the Chinese zodiac, where you got Cancer and all those, they have the dragon and the ox and the rabbit, all different. Okay.
All right. The next question.
Thank you, Reverend Goh. I'd like to just inquire because I'm a layman.
Okay.
There's this, I think there's this doctor called Sigmund Freud, who is, I think he's a
psychologist.
Along that line one. Then he ever said this sentence: unexpressed emotions, his quote, will never die. They are buried alive, and will come forth later in uglier ways. So I'm thinking, because as I'm a layman, I'm also very scared. Like, let's say you don't practice the right speech, it might lead to different type of karma and bad effect. So sometimes we might want to feel like, okay, try to be nice. I want to commit this kind of karma, so we bear with it. But the more you bear with it, the angrier it becomes. And then one day you become a volcano.
Okay.
And then if let's say you don't say anything, but sometimes you feel like it's really, you feel like you're being unjustified. So you bear with it. So I'm thinking, will this be carried forward to the next life, whereby that person might want to seek for vengeance? I don't know. Or would it be better for this life to clarify it out, so that you will not carry it to your next life? I mean, that's my own imagination.
Okay.
Because I think it's true, unexpressed emotions will never die. Some, not all.
Okay.
Or some we can just let it go, but some is just what I heard from another professor, we call it 唔甘願 不甘願 唔甘願. Yeah. So so I'm just curious about this. And then there's a conflict to do or not to do, to say or not to say. And then I tell myself, is it fair for you to like, then you said the word karma, the karma, before you die, that kind of karma, right? What kind of karma?
Proximate karma.
Proximate karma. Sekali, you still have the harbor thought, will it carry to you for the next life? I mean, that's my own imagination. And there's such thing as, pardon me, psychosomatic illness. There's such thing.
Okay.
If it's only when you release these that your psychosomatic illness will be healed. It's true. Because it happens to me before. I got therapists that settled it. And I'm very grateful, internally grateful for it. And another thing is, this is question 1. Allow me a bit, sorry, I take a bit of time. I'm born with scoliosis. For years, I just don't understand why. My mom say it's because that maybe in my past life, sorry, I could have said something wrong to another religion. I tell myself, okay, I don't know what to do. But to me, after some time, I say, is it matter whether it's true or not? I just try my best in this life. So then I tell myself, not too bad. There are people who are living in the more worse off than mine, right? How do you explain for that? But I think, as a human being, you always feel, how come? How do I resolve all that? Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so 2 questions. Yeah, very good questions. So I address the second one first. So if somebody face any crisis, any problem, a bit insensitive to say this is your karma law, so that's why we call this mundane right view, because there's no way to justify. There's no way to find the evidence to say that, you have faced this problem because you have done this. There's no direct evidence. Yeah, so it's a bit hard to verify. So we just leave it as that. Now we follow the example of the Buddha. If you know it will hurt a person, better don't say. It can be karma. It can be even the scripture. Sometimes scriptures, whichever religion, even Buddhism, may say something unwholesome about another religion. You meet a person of that religion, you don't go and say, my scriptures say something bad about you. Even though it's like factually true, you don't have to say it. You don't have to say it. Solve a lot of world problem. So this one, same thing, human to human, or even like natural disaster. We try to help as much as we can. We don't go and try to justify with whatever concepts that we cannot prove, which is very insensitive. So my opinion. Unless the person really want to, like what you mentioned, the therapy part. If let's say the problem is an emotional issue, they want to kind of seek therapy, they want to go and look into the causes, the reason for this kind of emotional kind of baggage. That's why you have all different branches of treatment and therapy. So nowadays there's even this past life regression therapy. past life regression therapy. So the therapies will hypnotize you, then you don't have to sit there and meditate for so many hours. You just relax, then subconsciously they will ask you until you can remember the cause, the reason why you end up like this, emotionally, for example. So that's one kind of treatment. So there's a lot of treatment nowadays. Because karma is very, I would say, mysterious. We don't know what ripens first, or which one is heavy, which one not so heavy. So your first question regarding whether to vent out any frustration, I would say there are many ways to go about it. First, if you have any kind of thing you feel injustice, if the other party that you find that create this injustice is like willing to communicate, willing to talk, then that's the win-win solution. Then you talk it out. But for whatever reason, it's like the other party like deliberately try to like silence you, or whatever reason, a very toxic environment, whatever it is, then you may need, at least the first line of defense, good friends that have listening ear, know how to at least console you, that kind of stuff. But if you want to talk about more self-reliance, at the meantime, while searching for your friends, you can also have a bit of resilience. So this is where the meditation come about. How to reflect, maybe forgiveness or loving kindness, or even reflect on moment-to-moment karma. So that would help to kind of soften the mind a bit, make the mind more equanimous. So hopefully that helps.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'll just take one last question because we need to be mindful of time. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi, Bhante. Thank you for your talk.
Hi.
I read something about this King Melinda talking to a monk. I can't remember his name. And this monk was saying that to the King Melinda, that even if you have done 100 years of bad things, unwholesome action, but before the person die, that proximate karma, if he has good thoughts, he will be reborn in a good place. But I'm thinking about this. How can, I feel like it's going against Buddha's teaching. If you do 100 years of bad things, and that proximate karma is only, I think, I don't know how many seconds, you think and then you die, you can be born in in a better place. So it's like not so right, isn't it, Bhante?
It's not against the Buddha's teaching. So again, like that quote, probably from the Milinda Panha, so it's the King Milinda and Nagasena, the monk Nagasena. So that's post-canonical, that's after the Buddha's time. Yeah, it's a Greek king actually. Okay, so this death proximate karma, because you have to understand the mind is moment to moment. Moment to moment. It's not the you from 10 years ago is not the same you now. Every moment different personality arises, every moment different personality arises. So at that moment, if the person has strong enough intention to change the trajectory of the momentum, the habitual, the bad momentum, it might be possible to change. It's just like a person, if they're healthy now, they choose to turn over to a good leaf. It's possible, right? So same law at the last moment, maybe they're a bit cannot move, but they have the strong will to turn over to a good leaf. So it's the same thing. But that doesn't totally erase the bad karma unless they reach enlightenment, then defunct karma. Yeah. Okay, so
Yep.
that's it.
Thank you so much, Phra Goh. Let's us all say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, sorry, really unfortunate that we don't really have enough time because it's near the meal time for Bhante, so that's why I need to cut the time short. Okay, so hopefully next time when Phra Goh come again, we'll probably try to give more time for Q&A. Okay, right. Before we end of the service, let's us do a dedication of merits together. So for today, we also wanted to basically wish Brother Tan Kati for a successful treatment and speedy recovery. So while we actually chant the dedication of merit, do also share the metta so that Brother Tan